What is the state of inclusiveness in meditation? What is being referred to by this? This is usually an advanced level beyond the superconscious state. It's the next level of development from the superconscious state. So I will briefly describe that in this video. I would like to ask you a great favor. If you like the contents of my video, please also remember to like and subscribe to my channel. This will greatly help my channel to reach out to more people. And if I could ask you even a greater favor, to at least share this video with at least one other person or social media channel, and also write in your comments, what you feel about it, because this will give me an indication, from your feedback of how to improve, right? And for those who don't know me, I am Osman. I'm a bioenergy healer on a master level with telepathic healing capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and uh, terminal illnesses, and also amongst others, physiological, psychological, and even spiritual ailments. To that end, I have um, a special uh, 10-minute anxiety fix for just $5. That is, given to you instantly, telepathically, and for a very low sum, less than a cost of a Starbucks coffee, you could get to experience how this works and also have an anxiety fix at the same time. I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher. Um, I haven't been practicing this art for almost 50 years and teaching for 44 years. In that period, I've studied under various masters from different schools of thought, from different cultures, and across the globe. And I've gleaned out the essence of most of the most effective and powerful techniques, and I combined it to form our own protocols that is adapted for the 21st century, making them faster, quicker, better, easier, more time efficient, and effective, right? Um, to that end, I now have students in over 100 countries, and my favorite protocol is the 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free by visiting my website, yogawellness786.com, um, where you can, download it in exchange for subscribing to my email. And also, you can get more information about my services. And please remember that my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So, coming back to the state of inclusiveness that's spoken of, so usually as you're advancing in meditation progress, eventually the maturation, usually it is the related to the activation of the pineal gland. The pineal gland is generally in a um, we would not say inactive state, because we cannot exist without the pineal gland's activity. It's acting in a very low power mode, you know, capacity. Once it is fully powered up with through long-standing practice of yoga, meditation, breath work, or there is other practices in other cultures as well. Then it opens up when it fully activates. It opens up. It's called a pineal gland because it looks like a pine cone, right? And it opens up like the fins, of or the scales of a pine cone that opened up, So that's how it will look when it's fully, and this can be, observed empirically, um, and scientifically. And usually when this happens, the third eye usually opens completely, which is, they claim the power center for the third eye to be in this region, right? Between the forehead, just slightly between the eyebrows and slightly up. There's like a hollow in your skull, or most people's skull. There, that's where is a power center, uh, or the Agna chakra, right? that powers up the third eye, right? And but it was very often mistaken that the pineal gland is the third eye. It's not the third eye. The third eye is separate, and the pineal gland. So the pineal gland, as it matures even further, it sends power up and activates, when it gets higher and higher power, then it activates the seventh chakra, which is slightly above your skull in this region. And this gives you a state of super consciousness where it is called the thousand petal lotus, because a thousand um, the subtle conduits called nadis, connect to that particular one. So every other nadi, so there are four in the base. I think there's six in the sacral, eight in the solar plexus, 12 in the heart, or 12 or 16 in the heart, and then there is um, X number, I think 12 in the throat. I can't remember clearly, keep forgetting those numbers. And then there's two here, but in this one is 1,000, right? 1,000 of so they call them lotuses because these are the subtle tubes that connect to them, that they in turn go and connect to, subsidiary power centers that are powering up, the corresponding physical organs in your physical body, from the subtle body. So when there's a blockages in a certain place or in the heart region or somewhere around there, you get a problem in your chest area or your heart area, right? Or in your lungs area and so forth. So depend which conduit is blocked. Doesn't necessarily mean always that's the case, but very often, that's the case. And with energy healing, we, unblock it that way. But coming back to um, the thousand petal lotus and the superconscious state, now you can think fast, so much faster, so much. You can see the much greater spectrum of that which is available for us to see. Because currently we can only see at best maybe 1% of the light spectrum. So once that is open, we can see a much greater percentage of the spectrum. We can see even the energy world. So then we can see energetically into someone, what is wrong with them energetically, and by thought, we can, fix these things. So let's not go too deep into the superconscious state and go more. If you want to know more about the superconscious state, someone who describes it very well is Gopi Krishna. Originally, he wrote a book in 1967 about the adverse effects of his Kundalini awakening. And thereafter, during 1977 to 1984, he had already published, I think, about 5 books, and some Canadian volunteers assisted him to publish more of his writings and his works. And they made recordings, movie recordings, and it's now available on YouTube. And his books are also available, electronically as ebooks and also as audio versions, audiobooks as well. So you can search for Gopi Krishna, for that regarding the superconscious state. So as the superconscious state develops, you start your conscious. Why they say superconscious? Not only you become conscious of a greater, wider ambit of that which is available for us to see, like the gamma rays, the infrared rays, and the ultraviolet. All these rays become, the wider range. The other 99%, I don't know what percentage of that 99% starts to become more and more, visible, and everything looks absolutely beautiful. You see the full beauty of everything. If you think everything out there, the flowers and nature and the mountains look beautiful, once you see this, it's gonna look far more amazing, mind blowing. And he used to, Gopi Krishna used to describe how it used to always be in awe and awestruck, and he couldn't get tired. Look, if you look at the sky, you're not looking at the sky like how we looking. You can see all the planets and the stars and the beautiful, light and the energy. That's perfect. Everything is energy. That he's seeing, including the physical form. So then is consciousness, your consciousness then starts to expand. So as you continue with your meditation practice and so forth, it starts to expand where you feel within a certain radius of how far your consciousness expanded, you can feel the sensation of that. So maybe it's up to, a meter or two. So anyone that comes within that range of your consciousness, you will feel what they feel. You, as if you and them are non-different. Like how you feel you are your hand, you will feel anything within your consciousness range as if it's you. So if someone, got a leg pain, you'll feel that leg pain, their leg pain, as though it is your leg pain, that their leg is your leg, right? You won't feel it in your leg, but you'll feel the leg pain. That if someone gives someone a slap, you feel that pain. And if your consciousness starts getting wide, it starts widening as you practice. You can go to several meters, even kilometers wide, right? As you're practicing. So if it is several meters wide and there's a tree within your radius of your consciousness, then someone chops the tree, you'll feel the pain of that chopping, right? You'll feel everything. You'll feel, the consciousness of an animal, every living creature, every worm, every ant. You'll feel everything within your range of consciousness as though it is you. So this is the inclusiveness, right? The inclusiveness. So usually people like Sadhguru, when he's talking, in a hall full of people, his array, his level of consciousness, we don't know how big it is. He doesn't describe, but he feels the consciousness. He feels everyone as though it's him. He feels what's in them, as if it is himself feeling it, if he has inclusiveness. That's what he talks about. He says, when there is inclusiveness, there is no need for morality to say don't hurt your neighbor or don't hurt other person, because you feel like you're hurting yourself, because you feel you're one with everyone else, right? But you're not one with everyone. Everyone is still an individual. Just your consciousness, your awareness is now wider, and you're feeling it as part of you. And of course, the aim is to feel, the awareness of the entire universe. And that's what happens when you feel that. You lose the awareness of your individual identity, and you lose the awareness of yourself. There is no self, and it becomes a state of non-awareness, cannot be described, because you, for description, you have to be conscious of it with your mind, and you lost your awareness of I or me. And so for an experience, there has to be a I or a me, right? So there was no I or me, so it's like a blank in the experience of the person. It is said to be indescribable, right? And so it's a very confusing, state. But these are the reports of people, who's experienced these levels. And I've had been studying under masters who had these type of experience. And in terms of advancement of the yoga processes and so forth, although I'm talking very casually about it, the the chance just to open, the first step is to open where the pineal gland is sufficiently powered that the third eye completely opens. If partially opens, yes, you start to become clairsentient, and then you become, clairaudience, and then clairvoyance, right? And then clairvoyance happen, and then it fully opens, and you can see, for that to happen, like people say, the third eye is it's a it's not a physical. It's not like an eye that can see. It is just you're sensing things. So they are incorrect in that. It's when they are sensing things, it is partially developed. When it is fully developed, you can see. I've experienced that, and I know, what I'm talking about. You can see, but I don't want to go too much into that. But it is like an eye that when it's fully developed, and after that is developed, people can be practicing even 10 years. They're not even reaching, the supercore. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of power, and a lot of dedication and practice. To give you an example, since we're talking about inclusiveness, how long it's going to take. So someone was very disciplined, was very inclined towards this type of field from, a young person, because you're selected in his childhood to go under special training to be as someone who has the inclination to be trained into higher levels of yoga disciplines and meditation. So by the age of 17, he was able to meditate independently for 3 hours every. He used to get up every morning at 3 a.m. and he used to meditate every morning for 3 hours without fail. His routine was get up at 3 a.m., go into the ice cold stream or a river that was nearby, bathe in it, come out, and come out blue, because he lived in the very northernmost part of India, where it is reaching sub-zero temperatures at the base of the mountainous areas, and come all blue and sit and meditate for 3 hours every morning. And after 17 years of doing that, he had a Kundalini awakening. And that Kundalini awakening took him about 4 years to adjust to that awakening. And he had to stop all meditation until he adjusted to it. And after 4 years of adjustment, because initially he became very ill for about 9.5 weeks. So he's not playing stuff, right? So he's not just, oh, I want to become, attain the superconscious state. Then after the 4 years break, and he was able to meditate again, it took him a further 12 years, right? Until his superconscious state became permanently fixed. He started to experience it slowly. Initially, he started to see like a white, um, uh, you know, like a border around everything. He thought his eyesight was failing him, because everything he looked at, it had like a whitish, like a whitish light, like a halo surrounding it, like a border. He thought it's something to do with his eyesight, but then it started to get deeper and deeper, and then it became permanent, and he could see the full range. And then that took him full 12 years. And then after that, as he continued, he started, because he reached the first level of consciousness, where he had the first Kundalini awakening. He started at the age of 17, and at the age of 34 is when he had the Kundalini awakening, right? And then he started again from the age he needed, from the age 34 to 38, you know, a break from the age of 38, including the 38th year, up to his 49th year, took him a total of 12 years to be fully established, in the superconscious state. And then from the 49th year, he lived, I think, until the age of 87, because he passed away in 1984. And in 1937, when he had the Kundalini awakening, he was 34 years old. So it means he was born 3 years before the turn of the century in 1897, right? So 1984, just add 3 years to that, 87. So that took him another 38 years. Over the 38-year period, he started to feel, as he was progressing, in his meditation, which he continued, his consciousness radius was increasing. It was becoming more and more inclusive, right? So to give it, and then he also tried to create a similar type of protocol of what he followed, and to get more people. I think he selected about 100 special people were inclined towards this field. And to give you an indication of regular people who's inclined towards this field, um, it is I think less than 1%, 1% or less. You know, my finding from people, because I offer amazing, like, yoga and meditation, basic yoga and meditation, for free in whichever locality I'm living. To give physical classes in my presence is very difficult. I can speak to people on a daily basis, inviting them to come for free. It's difficult to get 1 in 100 who's interested in turning up. You know, from the other 99 is, some are interested, but they're too busy. They don't have time. They don't understand how powerful this is. So it means one of the 1%, then he selected people like that, 100 of them. His success rate was between 3 and 4%. Only 3 and 4, was able to reach a more advanced level. So this is not something that is very easily practiced, and that's why my passion has been, through the last 5 decades, to find more powerful methods, shortcut methods, which I found several more powerful methods, and I combine them. Because he focused mainly in meditation. So I found a very specific scientific pranayama method, which I actually had to develop from all the bits and information that I had. I created my own protocol, and it works amazingly, right? So, and then I also found the Kriya of Paramahamsa Yogananda that he taught. It is said to boost your meditation progress between 10 to 100 or even 1,000 times faster, right? So depends on each individual, but it tremendously boosts it, right? Which is something to add. And I even simplified his protocol to just to the essence of the boosting part instead of doing all the frills around it, right? And even my Hatha Yoga protocol, I found that to tremendously advance and create a amazing foundation, for the meditation. And I also found some posture, adaptations that can greatly boost it. So, but still, I mean, you know, it took him 38 plus, another 17 plus 12 is 19, sorry, 17 and 12, 19, 29, 29 and 4 is 33, 33 and another 34 years, sorry, another 38 years. This is like a long time. It's coming to 70 years plus, right? 70 to 80 years. This is like mind-blowing stuff, right? We can't even conceive, the total how long, but of course by creating shorter methods, I feel it's possible to achieve it in 8 to 10 years if you're going to dedicate 8 to 10 hours of your life towards the advanced yoga practices, which is very difficult, right? Because you have to work 8 to 9 hours a day, and then where's the time for sleep? So you need a minimum of 7 to 9 hours of sleep. You don't have enough time in the day. But I mean, even to spend 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever you can, is you're gonna generally balance your life and so forth. So these arguments and discussions on inclusiveness that people just throw around, it's not something that is easily attainable. And we can say since the ratio is so small, it is greater than 1 in 100, 100,000, right? Easily. So that means that chance is so small. It, it's like coming close to maybe even winning the lotto, right? Although the winning a lotto is like 1 in 10 million or something, or chance, but it's coming closer to that type of range. Although 1 in 100,000 is not so bad, but people can strive and utilize the shorter methods. Depends on your seriousness. Some people are already very advanced and they can advance quite quickly, so that is also possible. But generally speaking, my opinion from my 50 years of practicing and 44 years of teaching and studying under different masters under different schools of thought, rather say it's like impossible, right? So where's the likelihood now of studying it under science and so forth? What's the value of duplicating it and so forth? Unless we find a faster, quicker, easier protocol that is practical, this thing. So to that end, I mean, my students now, it's not surprising that they can have an out of body experience within 1 to 2 days. Not everyone, but not surprising. It's relatively common for that to happen. Those who take up my advanced yoga meditation services, which is a paid service, by the way, and not uncommon for them to reach the breathless state where they're so calm they cannot perceive the breath. The breath is so subtle, right? And they report that it's not breathing, right? Even myself, of course, I cannot I'm not even aware of that state because when you reach the delta state, called the no thought state, you don't have awareness of yourself, as an individual or anything. You become, totally rested to zero thought, zero experience, non-experience. When you open your eyes, what you felt like 10 minutes was actually like 45 minutes to an hour, past. So always when I open my eyes, I always check the time because I don't trust my feeling that it was just a few minutes, right? And so forth. So I hope that information on inclusiveness and also, the description behind it and the practicality and the expectations around it, I'm giving you, realistic figures reporting from actual incidents, right, from other people. that you can study and verify, right? Because Gopi Krishna was greatly reported on, and of course, they didn't just take everything; they questioned him heavily. So we haven't proof of what he's experienced. Because how do you prove those things? But it as an indicator, right, of why people, it's not such a common occurrence, and why people are not just reporting it regularly. So hope that information helps you, and take care of yourself always.